So, good morning. Hopefully, everyone is having a great day, great start to your week, and had a good weekend. So, I just been really busy with some stuff like interviewing and everything like that. So, I wasn't able to record, but I have some time now in between interviews, so I am gonna record. So, yeah, it's like almost the end of the year. So hopefully people are getting ready for the holidays and like just transitioning into a new year. I have a really good feeling about 2024. See what happens, obviously how it unfolds, but I feel like this year has taught me and other people that I know a lot of lessons and has definitely pushed for growth. So grateful for that and to still be here and to have gone through whatever it is that we've gone through this year and be able to still be here to talk about it and to learn from it. So there's always something to be grateful for and to learn. So, um, and hopefully people are practicing good health, mental health, physical health, emotional, spiritual, all that jazz. So, today's post, um, I want to talk about something that I saw a post that I saw, and it was kind of like a reflective type of question. Um, so let me see. The question is, what do I need to change in me so that I can get to the next level? And that's such a great question. um, I think that you know, um, when we think about how our life is going. Like sometimes we always think about like the outside circumstances versus like what is it that we need to do? Because sometimes things aren't going your way because of you. And not saying that like you're a bad person or something. It's just maybe your habits. I think that that's a big thing. And sometimes we have to look within to see what is it in me that I need to change in order to get to the next level. Maybe it's not um other people holding you back. Sometimes you're holding yourself back, and not intentionally. I think that again, it's habits. When you are used to doing something and getting your way or things working out, then why would you change it, right? You're only going to be influenced to change it when you start doing the same thing and you're not getting the results that you want or the same results. That's when you start to that's when that kind of question comes about of like, what is it in me that I need to change or work on or improve or grow in order to get to the next level? And if that's your goal, right? Sometimes, again, I've talked about this before, like some people are content with where they are, and you have to be okay with that. Like you have to be okay as long as you're good where you are. That's the important thing. So, making sure that you are good with where you are in your life and that you're making choices that reflect your goals and your aspirations, and go for it. But I think that there's always room to change. There's always room to grow. It's just whether or not you are open to doing it. So, um, I think that, yeah, I'm gonna definitely get into it, as far as like how, how that can not only help, but I'm sorry, but also, um, what it is that I've learned, you know? So the question again, what do I need to change in me so that I can get to the next level? I think for me, what I've learned this year is definitely learning how to be more patient, not just with others and myself, but with God and with my life and how it's unfolding. And I actually talked about this yesterday with my therapist, like um that that is something that I've definitely learned this year. Like because of the obstacles that came my way in the beginning of the year, I was in a space that I was trying to change those obstacles as best as I could and fix them. And after much back and forth and fighting and not really getting the results that I wanted and becoming frustrated, becoming sad, becoming angry, feeling like I would say the world is against me, but definitely feeling like, things are not going my way. I had to learn to step back and understand that this is a needed process for me. It's helped me to shed a lot of habits, a lot of and not just like habits as far as like things that I do, but also just like your mindset and how I handle obstacles in life. Before I would kind of not necessarily panic, but I would get in a space where I gotta get out of this, and I'll do whatever it is that I feel is necessary to hurry up and get out of it. Versus, I'm not saying that you should stay in the situation, the obstacles, and like swim in it and be like, yeah, but at the same time, sometimes you have to understand, like, I think a question that I see a lot, and I think I've discussed this before, is when obstacles come your way or things don't go your way, you, instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You can ask, what is this trying to teach me? I think that, again, nothing happens by coincidence. So if you are going through a tough time or an obstacle, or you're facing something that you didn't necessarily anticipate for your life, for your year, for the time, then it's a time to reflect and figure out, like, what is this trying to teach me? And the things that it could be teaching you, it could just be about the actual lesson. Like for me, I think what I've learned this year about losing my job was the importance of money management, the importance of planning ahead, and also like not never getting too comfortable in a place. Or also I think it just came to my head, like, okay, so last year, at the end of last year, going into 2023, my goal was always, I had written it down, everything. I had already manifested that I wanted to get a new job. And I was thinking I would use 2023 as a time to still work my other job and apply for other jobs and move. And so, but with that, like even before that, when I was looking at other jobs and stuff like that, I was taking my time because I figured I already have a job, so it's not like I'm in a rush. And I think that I kept getting this nudge, like, you got to get out of here. This is not the space that you're gonna stay in. And I was like, okay, but I'm thinking it'll work basically how it worked for me before and how it's always worked, where once I'm in a space and a job where it's like, okay, I've outgrown this job, or it's time for me to move on, then I keep the job and stay there and work and make money while I apply for other jobs and interview for other jobs, secure my spot somewhere, and then leave. But that didn't happen this year. This year, instead, I was, pushed out of my spot and without a security blanket to fall on, and the security blanket would be another job. But I ended up realizing that the security blanket was myself, because I do have the podcast, I do have my business. And so that is a way that I was able to still work this year and partially like contribute to taking care of myself. And so, like I said, I've said it before in a few episodes earlier this year, and I'll say it again. Like, I can't really complain too much about this year, because despite what I've been, the cards that I've been dealt this year, I've still been able to take care of myself. I have a place to stay. I have food. My lights are on. Like, I'm not sick. I have, health insurance. Like, I have these things that are holding me over. And so, I'm able to, like, I live by transportation. So it's not like I really don't have much to complain about. And if anything, this has really been a year of reset and rest for me. And so that's been something that I've always been asking for. So I really can't complain too much about this year, because I'm getting what I asked for. Maybe not in the layout and the idea that I thought, but it's what I asked for and it's what I needed. I really needed the rest. I really needed to be able to kind of do my own thing for a long amount of time, a consecutive amount of time, and not have the other stressors and worries on my back. So, but with saying that, I also am ready to get back into working and well, I've been ready for getting back into working, but I feel like it's going to come about when it's supposed to. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to what the year, how it ends and how it goes into the next new year. Um and I would say that this year also, like I said, I go back to the thing I said about the money management, but also it's highlighted me to, I feel like I've already had those ideas of how to save and how to like big purchases like houses, like a house and stuff like that, but I never really just again, I felt like I had time, and you felt like you have the time to do those things, and I still do, but now it's in a different view for me. It's um a really like a focus, like tunnel vision type of thing of like goals that I want to accomplish. And really in the terms of like having these goals and creating these goals is like think accomplishing these things would be able to um give me again some form of a security blanket for situations like that I went through this year. If I have my business booming or I have some type of side hustle or some other way of making money, then situations like this wouldn't be as detrimental. If you have your own place, like just different things. I feel like just having my own of a lot of things will be definitely a goal for 2024 because um, I just feel like for me personally, it would be helpful and provide me some security. And so um I feel like in order to change, what do I need to change in order in me to get to that level? Again, like I said, money management, just being more conscious of like how I spend money and what I also how you view money. I think that your view of money plays a role in how you treat money. If and I also think that that ties into like how you view your job and how you treat your job and things like that. Like it all ties together. I think that again, the practice of gratitude, even if you're in a place where you don't want to be, like being grateful that you are there and that you do have this resource, is important. It's funny because I actually seen a post today. Someone had posted, and it was like, oh, like it was a meme of a girl like crying at work, and it said something about like basically like your mood before the holiday, like, oh, like the girl was saying, I have a job, I have a job, I have a job, or something like that, like reminding herself that she has this job, um while crying because she doesn't want to be there. And like in some of the comments, like people are like, oh, well, if you don't want to be there, then you should leave and stuff like that, like just saying or like agreeing with it. And again, I'm not saying that people, because I've been there where you're like, okay, oh, I don't feel like going to work or I don't feel like being at this job. But then it's like I also saw people like in my similar situation who were like, well, I wish I could have a job, or like I would love a job for Christmas. And that's what I've been asking for too, for a job for Christmas. But um I think that, not saying that prior to this situation I didn't know what it was like to not have a job, or like that is such a tough space to be in, but when you, again, it's different to see it versus to live it. And I think you go into working after a situation like this a little bit more grateful, a little bit more like, all right, I have to show up. And not saying I've never had an issue with attendance for work. I've always been someone who always actually goes to work even when I'm like not in the best state, but unless I'm like really really sick. But I rarely took time off and stuff like that. But that also is something that I'm going to be changing too, like taking time for me, not running myself into the ground, and making sure that I do plan for vacations and plan for things that I still want to do, and taking care of like self-care, finding the balance. Because I feel like sometimes you can have this goal of like, all right, maybe I want to buy a house, so I'm just gonna work, 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 work. I'm not gonna take time off. I'm gonna save all my money, da da da. But that's great. But you should still be able to um, accomplish this goal while still enjoying your life. You don't want to make these material things more important than yourself and your life. So I think that's something also that I would change too, to level up. I think that again, just practicing self-care and practicing um I don't want to say obedience, but just like discipline, having discipline as well. Um like how you spend your money, where you spend your money, how often you spend your money, again, how you view money. Remember that it's something that you've worked for, you earned it. So be mindful of how you spend it too, and how you give it out and stuff like that too. Um, and I'm trying to think what else. What do I need to change in me so that I can get to the next level? Networking. I think that also too. I feel like I do network, but I think a big part of getting to the next level in anything, whether it be work related or just socially or something like that, you have to network. You have to interact with other people that may be already at the level that you're trying to get to, or are also trying to get to the next level, or things like that. Like, you just have to put yourself out there, because that's how you get recognized. That's how people will be able to promote you. You know, you never know, like someone might be having a conversation with someone who's big ups, and they're talking about something that might be connected to you, and then they put your name out there. Next thing you know, you're doing something that you didn't imagine yourself doing. So I think that too, for what do I need to do? And I feel like I've like I said, I've done networking, but just continuing to do that, to continue to network, um, is a way that I think would help me to get to the next level. Um, and as far as like, I said like money management, I said money definitely, networking, being grateful, being patient with the process, and remaining consistent. I think that a lot of the times obstacles come your way to test you, to see how serious you are about a goal or about something that you want to do. And if you're really serious about it, you will still push through and figure you'll find a way. And I think that in order to get to the next level, that is the mindset you have to have, and you have to have the strength to get up every day, no matter what it's looking like, and know that you're going to get there. I think that, again, like, to get to the next level, your mindset is very important. Are you someone who, when you face an obstacle, you give up, or do you keep going? And I'm gonna post a TikTok that I seen, and I saved it because he was talking about what I'm saying, like, just when things come your way, like, are you gonna lay down and take it, or are you just gonna keep going? And sometimes, like, your keep going, like, I'm a witness to this. Like, my keep going has been for the past year, like almost for the whole year, basically. Um, and I'm still going. I'm not gonna, it's just like when you're applying for jobs, like if you get rejected, you're just gonna stop applying. No. You're gonna keep going until you get that yes. So that's similar to how, when you want to get to the next level, you're going to face no's, you're going to face obstacles, you're going to face twists and turns. But if you really want to get there, then you will put in the work and keep being consistent. So I'm trying to think of anything else. What do I need to change? I would say those are the things that I would change or work on for to getting to the next level. I would love to hear what other people have to what other people's ideas are too, because again, everybody has different goals. Um, I would say, but being flexible also, just being flexible, and being able to surrender to the process and to what is going on in your life. Again, I always say this, like, there's a balance of what you need to put in work on your end, but then there's also just life be life, and life is gonna be what it's gonna be. It's funny because I just think about this quote that I've seen, and I feel like I've heard it so many times, like growing up or whatever. But it was like, I think it was a TikTok that I saw or something like that. But they were saying, like, they were interacting with this guy on the street, whatever, and he was basically like telling him his problems, and he was like, nephew, at the end of the day gotta end. And that quote is so funny, because to me it's funny because it's like, obviously, but it's like, nah, real talk, like, it really does have to end. Like, at the end of the day gotta end. And that's how it is with life. Like, at the end of the day's gonna end. Like, at the end of all of this, like, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. And I feel like when you say that to yourself, or you remind yourself of that, you really have to laugh, and then you have to be like, you know what? Like, that's real talk. Like, there's only so much I can do. There's only so much that we can control as humans. Like, don't try to consume so much of that in yourself where you get stressed out and you can put yourself in a depressive state or a sad state, or just getting to that space of like, all right, like giving up because you are trying to hold everything and do everything yourself. And you can't do everything by yourself. That's why we need community. You need to network. You need to have friends and family that you can call on or ask for help or just ask for advice or things like that. You need community. Like, I can be a form of community. Like, I tell people all the time, like, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, to ask me questions. There are certain things that I just really can't help you with, but some things I definitely, if I can, I will try to help you. As far as like advice and stuff. 1111. I just saw her. See? And so yeah, I feel like I said, the end of the day gotta end and life be life. And so we really just have to keep pushing through, and you have to keep fighting through. Um, because that's really all you can do. And you have to remain positive, remain faithful, and keep fighting. Like, it's going to work out. I would say I'm a testament to that. Um, and I always keep y'all informed as best as I can on stuff. So I keep it real. So like I said, I've been unemployed pretty much this whole year, and I'm still I'm still applying for jobs. I'm gonna get a job. Like, I'm manifesting that. I'm not even worried about that. I mean, I am, but not really like that. Um, I'm not worried per se, but I'm just like almost like that Judge Judy gift where she's like, TikTok, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's where I'm at. It's more so I already know it's coming. It's just like, all right, you know, come on, like, but in due time and in divine timing. So and I feel like when you want something, like me, like my situation of wanting a job, I feel like I've talked about this before. You have to think back to this. I don't know if it's necessarily an analogy, but I remember I saw like someone was saying, when you the importance of patience, and how sometimes in life, like, it was compared to like being at a restaurant and you order your food. You order your food, and the food can be like what you're manifesting. Like, for me, I'm ordering a job. I'm manifesting a job, and I will see people around me at other tables, or in terms of like on social media, friends, whatever. They're getting jobs, right? They're getting jobs, or they're getting promoted, or they weren't unemployed, but they still were able to hurry up and get a new job. And you kind of get into a space where you're like, all right, well, you might see someone at another table who started after you, and they've already gotten their food and you're still waiting. And the story is like, the person, you ask the waiter, like, okay, what happened to my food? These people around me are getting theirs before me, and I ordered way before them. So what's the delay? And the waiter will say like, oh, sorry for the wait, but the chef is making yours uh like a specially prepared for you. So you're like, okay, the first time you're like, all right, that's kind of cool. So you keep waiting, and then more and more people get their food, and more people, now they're like going on, and like more people are coming in, and you're still waiting. And when your food comes out, like, you're almost in tears at the way that it's so exquisitely put together, and it's more than what you've asked for, and you can't do anything but thank the chef so much. And you're basically and the chef will reward you for your patience. And so the chef could be whatever it is that you believe in: God, universe, whatever other religion or something, or higher power, higher version of yourself. um that is the chef in comparison. And so the meal is whatever it is that you've been asking for. So maybe it's like, all right, like I said, my situation, like, I'm praying for a job, I'm asking for a job, manifesting that, and it's just taking its time. But when that job comes on that platter, it's going to be way more, it's going to be so much different than what I've asked for in a good way. It's going to be beyond what you've asked for, and you don't want it, you just don't want to settle. You don't want to settle, and that's something that I've learned this year too. Is like the importance of not settling, especially in terms of like jobs and like getting in that space where it's like, all right, I don't have a job, so I need to hurry up and take whatever. Versus like if you can properly manage yourself and your money, and depending on your circumstances, and if you can wait, then wait for the right one. And the importance of knowing that when something is for you, there's nothing that can block that. You might face a bunch of rejections. I've gotten so many rejections this year, whether it be just from applications or even just for jobs that I've interviewed for. Like I got one like last Friday, but was I upset about it? Not really, because I was like, you know what? I've already been through this so many times this year, and it's like, all right, I'm one step closer to the one that I need to. And what's been happening, and that's how I know it's a testament of that, is because every time that happens to me, I I got the letter of saying that Friday, like, oh, I didn't get the position, but I had an interview already scheduled for another job that afternoon. And then I received another invitation to a interview for another job in a few weeks. So that's what I'm saying is like whatever's for you is going to be for you. There's nothing that can come in between that. You have to just keep flowing. You have to keep going. Don't let the no's and the waiting make you impatient and make you just give up or pick something that's not for you. Wait for it to show that it's for you and receive it. So I have rambled on quite enough. I think that, again, I will say the question was, what do I need to change in me so that I can get to the next level? So I've shared my things of what I need to do. Hopefully that makes you reflect too, especially going into the new year. If you're trying to level up next year and whatever area it is, think about what it is that you need to do or change within yourself. Uh, Shed bad habits, whatever it may be, mindset, things like that to get to your next level and whatever your next level is, and manifest it and claim it. When you start doing that, things will change for you, I promise. So as always, I'm your host Chanel, and this is Black Hippie Lounge. If you haven't already, please follow the podcast and follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, all under Black Hippie Lounge, except for TikTok is my name, Chanel. And yeah, definitely reach out if you have any questions or you want to be a guest. I have some other guests that I'm going to be doing interviews for next year. And I was actually a guest on an episode for another podcast called Critical View. I posted it on my story on Instagram for Black Hippie Lounge. I'll post it again if people want to see. It was a good interview. It was a good we talked about a lot of different things. Um, so if you haven't already, check it out and follow Critical View. Um, so as always, meditate, manifest, invest in you, and get ready to go to the next level.